Naoya Inoue is set to close out the year with a bang, stepping into the ring for his fourth fight in just 364 days. The monster will go head-to-head with Sam Goodman on Christmas Eve, December 24th, with one goal in mind: to clean out yet another division. And if Inoue walks away with another win, he'll have conquered an entire weight class in a lightning-fast 18 months. The stage is set, and Inoue's coming to prove why he's one of the most feared fighters alive. Top Rank confirmed Naoya will be facing IBF mandatory challenger Sam Goodman on December 24th at Tokyo's Ariake Arena. The timing's pretty much spot on too. It's going to be 364 days since he went head-to-head with Tapales back on December 26, 2023, making it 4 fights in a year. Inoue, 28-0, 25 knockouts, didn't exactly ease into this year. He kicked it off by bouncing back from a knockdown to demolish Luis Neri, putting Japan's long-standing beef with the ex-bantamweight champ to bed. Instead of diving straight into the mandatory defense against Goodman, 19-0, 8 knockouts, who barely edged out Rai Salim in a final eliminator last year and broke his hand against Chainoy Warawut, Inoue took a detour, faced TJ Doheny, and, well, delivered another punishing knockout. Goodman's a solid fighter. Sure, he's skilled, keeps a high work rate, but he's got the same problem as the rest of the division. He's not Naoya Inoue. Right now, Inoue is arguably the best pound-for-pound boxer, and it's not even close. He's staying active, mowing through the division, and doing it in style. The only problem with him? He's made super bantamweight a little too predictable. Who's really coming close? The perception is that Sam Goodman will have a very hard fight, no question. If we're lucky, we'll see Inoue take on MJ Akhmadaliev next, and after that he could make his way up to 126. Now, featherweight's a whole new ballgame. Imagine him going up against the likes of Shushu Carrington, Ball, Espinosa, or even Leo and Figueroa. And let's not forget, Fulton's in the mix too. Not that anyone's dying for a rematch. There are also guys like Kolmatov, who almost took out Ray Ford in the final seconds, waiting to prove themselves, though they probably need a title on the line to get a crack at Inoue. Here's a thought. If Naoya Inoue dominates Sam Goodman, the next step should focus on cementing his reign at 122 pounds. Goodman is no pushover, undefeated, relentless, and rising through the ranks with momentum. But let's be real. If Inoue does what Inoue does best and sweeps through Goodman, it raises the question of what's next for the monster in this weight class. Goodman earned this shot through grit and skill, taking on seasoned opponents and proving he belongs in the ring with the division's elite. But Inoue isn't just another champion, he's a generational talent, dismantling competition at an absurd pace. Goodman has the tools to make it competitive. Great footwork, solid jab, and a granite chin. But can he handle the relentless pressure and surgical precision of Inoue's punches? If Inoue's performance against Fulton is anything to go by, Goodman will need more than resilience to survive, let alone win. Should Inoue emerge victorious, the logical next step could be a fight that solidifies his dominance at 122. Sure, there's talk about mandatories and other contenders, but no one in the division feels quite ready to challenge the monster after Goodman. Perhaps the only other intriguing matchup right now is a unification bout, or maybe a high-stakes showdown with a proven name like Marlon Tapales. But beyond that, it feels like Inoue is on the cusp of outgrowing this weight class altogether. And then there's the dream scenario, Japan versus Japan. Imagine this, Naoya Inoue, undisputed at 122, facing Takuma Inoue, who could potentially reign as the undisputed champion at 118. Two brothers, two weight classes, both at the pinnacle of the sport. A matchup like that wouldn't just be historic, it would be the stuff of legends. In Tokyo, the undisputed super bantamweight champ Naoya Inoue once again lived up to his monster nickname, steamrolling TJ Doheny for a TKO in the 7th round and retaining his title with style. It was a display of pure dominance, driven by his signature weapon, vicious body shots that left Doheny struggling to stay on his feet. By the 6th round, Inoue's relentless attacks had Doheny in survival mode, with a series of brutal shots digging deep into the Irish fighter's core. But the real breaking point came just moments into the 7th. A crushing left hook to the ribs sent shockwaves through Doheny, triggering a sudden back injury for the 37-year-old challenger. Doheny instinctively limped back, raising his arm in what was essentially a surrender, as the pain in his back and side proved too much. The referee took no time in stopping in to wave it off, and just like that, it was over. Despite the clear dominance, credit to Doheny, he managed to put up a respectable fight and pushed himself to stay competitive. But the sheer power and precision of Inoue were on another level. Afterward, Doheny needed assistance back to the locker room, with his back and left legs still giving him issues, a testament to the punishment he endured. The night kicked off with a shocker. Just as the crowd settled in, Neri landed a massive left hook that floored Inoue, leaving everyone in stunned silence. For a moment, it looked like Tokyo might witness another historic upset at this iconic venue, but if anything, the knockdown seemed to ignite the monster. Inoue bounced back with a vengeance, rallying hard in the second round and knocking Neri to the canvas with precision shots that reminded everyone who the champ was. The third through fifth rounds were all Inoue, who maintained a relentless pace, finding openings and landing his signature body blows. The fifth round saw Neri on the mat once again, courtesy of a brutal left hook. And by the sixth, Inoue had him in deep trouble. The finishing touch came with a crushing right hook that left Neri unable to continue, prompting the referee to step in and stop the fight. The fight started with Tapales coming in strong, determined to give Inoue a real challenge. But Inoue was ready, calculated, and relentless. The crowd held its breath in the second round when Inoue seemed to drop Tapales with a sharp counter jab, though the referee ruled it a slip. By round 4, though, there was no question of Inoue's power. A blistering left hook had Tapales reeling, and a series of follow-up punches sent the Filipino to the canvas. Tapales fought on, showing true grit and resilience, and even landed some clean shots to Inoue's head and body, especially in the clinch. As the fight wore on, it looked like Tapales might just make it to the final bell, but Inoue had other plans. In the 10th round, a heavy right hand sent Tapales stumbling backward, eventually dropping him to his knees. Even though it looked like he'd blocked the punch, the power behind it was just too much. Tapales tried to rally, crawling forward, but couldn't beat the count. With that knockdown, Inoue claimed Tapales' WBA and IBF belts, adding to his own WBC and WBO titles and marking him as an undisputed champion in yet another weight class. Sam Goodman showed grit and skill as he battled through a broken hand to claim a decisive win over Thailand's Chainoy Warawut in Wollongong. The Australian super bantamweight contender took the fight to Warawut from the start, outboxing his opponent with sharp combinations and a relentless pace. The scores reflected Goodman's control: 119-109, 117-111, and 117-113. But this win didn't come without a cost. By the 4th round, Goodman felt the pain in his left hand. But he pushed through, determined to make a statement and secure rounds ahead of his looming shot at Naoya Inoue. Despite the injury, Goodman maintained his dominance, showcasing footwork, precise counters, and the patience to fend off Warawut's occasional power shots. While the action saw both fighters exchanging hefty blows, Goodman's class and conditioning kept him a step ahead throughout. Sam Goodman delivered a commanding performance in his victory over Mark Schleibs. A brutal knockout that left no doubt as to who was the better fighter that night. From the opening bell, Goodman established his dominance, using slick combinations and impressive ring control to keep Schleibs on the defensive. Schleibs had hyped up the fight with his pre-bout trash talk, but in the ring, Goodman systematically dismantled him, making it clear that he was leagues ahead. The Wollongong crowd watched as Goodman methodically broke down his opponent, each round showcasing his skill and poise. Schleibs managed to land a few solid shots, but Goodman absorbed them and pressed forward, keeping a relentless pace. Goodman's composure and focus were evident as he picked his moments to unleash his punches, all while avoiding Schleibs' counters. As the rounds went on, it was clear that Goodman was simply too much for Schleibs, whose resilience only delayed the inevitable. Who do you think will win? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.